Assalamualaikum and hi everyone, especially to our beloved lecturer, Dr. Danila binti Saleh. Today, my friends and I would like to present about performance management topic 4. There will be 7 presenters and I really hope that everyone can pay attention to each of the presenter. If time permits, there will be a Kahoot quiz in the end of our presentations and the person who gets the highest score will get a prize. These are the lectures outlined for today's presentation. The first one is understanding what is performance management. Second, understand the limitation of traditional performance management system. The third, explain the balanced scorecard. Fourth, understand performance evaluation for service organizations and non-profit organizations. Fifth, explain reward systems. And the last one, understand critical success factors and key performance indicator. Before I proceed with the first part of today's presentation, I would like to introduce myself first. My name is Nurul Auni Awatif binti Muhammad Zamri, metric number 261059. I will present about the model of performance management. So, what is performance measurement and management? Performance measurement is a process of assessing progress toward achieving predetermined goals. It deals specifically with performance measures. There will be the quantitative indicators that we will put in place to track the progress against the strategy. Usually, good performance measures cover a wide variety of criteria, such as financial measures, customer measures, process measures, and people measures. These measures will let us know whether we are on track to achieve the strategy and accomplish the objectives. And that is incredibly helpful information. We can build some great reports around this information and share those reports across the organization. But frankly, that doesn't get you far enough. To better explain what I mean, let's look at performance management. While performance measurement asks, how do we track the progress of the strategy we have put in place? The performance management will ask, how do we manage the strategy we have put in place? This is a subtle but important distinction. Performance management can be described as the use of performance measurement information to create positive change in organizational culture, systems, and processes. The management process requires the leadership team to meet on a regular basis and discuss the results. The team should then discuss the actions they are going to take to improve the results and determine whether the projects link into those results. As you can see in the slide, there are 4 ways on how to use performance measurement information to create positive changes in the organization. The first one is helping to set performance goals. Second, it is also can be used to allocate and prioritizing resources. Next, informing managers to either confirm or change current policy or program directions. And last, sharing results of performance in pursuing those goals. So, how can we get from performance measurement to performance management? All those 5 key action steps on the slide will help the company to evolve from a company that only looks at performance measures to an organization that reviews measures and takes action. The first key action is by getting the leadership team to buy in. This is a fairly obvious but incredibly important first step. The leadership team as a whole needs to agree that this is an important step to take and they have to find the time to get it done. Secondly, have someone champion the process. On the same note as our first action step, an organization needs a champion on the leadership team who will promote the right methods of performance management and ensure that all measurements are actionable. Third, get performance management on the meeting calendar. An organization should adjust a current meeting agenda to focus on performance management. Make this topic part of the agenda either once a month or once a quarter and take that time to talk about the performance measures and what you can do about them. 4. Align the budgeting process with the strategy. In other words, put the money where your mouth is by getting your finance budgeting process linked to your performance measures. And the last, which is the most important step, is to communicate. You need to communicate to the organization what your key measures are and ask team members how they can contribute to achieve this goal. As you can see on the video, that is a Fitzgerald and Wunsch performance management building block model. It is an evolution of the balanced scorecard which was developed to meet the needs of the service organizations. It is a tool that helps management set a forward-looking performance management framework that links an organization's strategy and objectives to employee targets and motivation. So, what's wrong with the present measurement systems? There are 5 problems of present measurement systems that we get. First, the measurements are not in tune with strategic objectives. Other than that, the measurements are not customer-driven. Third, financial measures are too late for any corrective action and encourage a short-term focus. Fourth, many key non-financial performance indicators are ignored. And the last one, measures are often used for punishment rather than for learning. Under the performance measurement, there are 2 indicators which often used in organization, which are financial indicators and non-financial indicators. Financial indicators are the metrics organizations use to track, measure, and analyze the financial health of the company. These financial indicators fall under a variety of categories including profitability, liquidity, solvency, efficiency, and valuation. By understanding these metrics, you can be better positioned to know how the business is performing from a financial perspective. You can then use this knowledge to adjust the goals of your department or team and contribute to critical strategic objectives. But there will be few problems occurred with reliance on traditional financial indicators. The first one, tendency to rely on short-term views. Second, distorted perception due to use of historical data to make future plans and decision-making and controlling. Fourth, time lag from preparation to use. As we all know, management accounting needs timely data. The last problem is qualitative information cannot be obtained. Therefore, unbalanced perceptions will happen. So, what do we mean by non-financial indicators? Non-financial indicators are quantitative measures that cannot be expressed in monetary units. Measures such as customer satisfaction, market share, category ownership, and new product adoption rate fall into the non-financial indicators. Non-financial indicators can serve as leading indicators of future financial performance and can provide insight as to organizations' impact on stakeholders and society. They can provide deeper insights into the inner workings of the businesses. And the beauty of non-financial indicators is that we can use them to understand why certain financial results occurred and what we need to change to improve the financial metrics. Okay, that's all from me. I will pass to the next presenter, Nurul Ashikin, to carry on this presentation.
Assalamualaikum and hi, my name is Nurul Ashikin Ibrahim, matrix number 261057. Okay, today I will present about the Balanced Scorecard, which also known as BSC. So, what is actually the Balanced Scorecard? Okay, first, the Balanced Scorecard concept was created by Kaplan and Norton. It has been implemented in hundreds of corporations, organizations, and government agencies worldwide. BSC is a strategic planning and management system that organizations use to focus on strategy and improve performance. BSC also use financial and non-financial measures within 4 perspectives, which is financial, customers, internal business process, and lastly, learning and growth. Okay, BSC provides an enterprise with view of organization's overall performance by integrating financial measures with other key performance indicators around customer satisfaction, internal business process, and organizational growth, learning, and innovation. Okay, in short, the BSC is a conceptual framework for translating an organization's vision into set of performance indicators distributed among the four perspectives. Okay, through BSC, an organization monitor both its current performance and its effort to improve processes, motivates, and educate employees. Okay, so in order to implement the BSC, the major objective for each of the four perspectives should be articulated, and this objective should be translated into specific performance measures. Okay, we move to the types of performance measures. There are two types of performance measures, which is lagging measures and leading measures. Okay, first, lagging KPI measure performance after the business or process follow a pattern or trend, and it is also used to confirm long-term trends. Lagging indicators also used to determine how well a process or system was managed. Lagging indicators are typically output-oriented, and it is easy to measure but hard to improve or influence. Okay, so leading KPI measure performance before the business or process results start to follow a particular pattern or trend. Leading KPI are used to predict changes or trends as well as forward-looking and help to manage the performance of a system or process. So, in most cases, leading indicators are input-oriented, difficult to calculate, and easy to influence. Okay, so we know that leading indicators are those that are more immediately measurable. Lagging indicators are those that are a result of implementing and continuously monitoring the activities which impact the leading indicators. Okay, so next is strategy map. The strategy map serves as strategy implementation map that guides the organization to achieve its objective and translate strategy into action. Okay, this is the description of strategy maps. Okay, first, all the information is contained on one page. This enables relatively easy strategic communication. Okay, second, there are four types of perspective in this strategy map, which is financial, customer, internal, and learning and growth. Okay, the cause and effect relationships are described by connecting arrows. The argument has it that succeeding against objective from the learning and growth perspective has a causal effect on success of the internal business process perspective, which in turn creates success from the customer perspective, and finally to the financial perspective. Okay, so this is the strategy map. As you can see in this slide, there are four types of perspective. Okay, the first perspective is financial perspective. Okay, financial perspective focus on maximizing long-term shareholder value by leveraging revenue growth and productivity strategies. Okay, next, the customer perspective, which looks at creating value and differentiation from the perspective of the customer. Okay, the third perspective is internal perspective. Okay, internal perspective focus at the strategic priorities for various business process that create customer and shareholder satisfaction. Okay, the last one is the learning and growth perspective, which looks at the priorities to create a climate that support the organizational change, innovation, and growth. Okay, next, we move to the balanced scorecard management system. Okay, so what is BSC management system? Okay, BSC management system is a scorecard of measures, targets, and initiatives that supports the strategy map. Okay, the scorecard shows the measures that used by an organization to track its progress towards achieving its strategic objective. Okay, same as the strategy map, the scorecard also consists of 4 perspectives, and all the perspectives need to be linked together. Okay, that's all from me. I will pass to the next presenter to explain more about the 4 perspectives in balanced scorecard.
Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. My name is Siti Aisha binti Rosmi. My metric number is 264648. I'm the third presenter in this group. I will explain about the 4 dimensions or the 4 perspectives of the balanced scorecard. The balanced scorecard is a set of performance targets and results related to the 4 dimensions of performance, which are financial perspective, customer perspective, internal business process perspective, and learning and growth perspective, or also known as the innovation. This recognizes that organizations are responsible to different stakeholders groups such as employees, supplier, customer, community, and also the shareholders. Now, let's look into the brief details of this 4 dimensions. First is the financial perspective. It is about how do we look to the shareholders. It indicates whether the company's strategy and operations add value to the shareholders. For organizations that do not have the shareholders, the financial perspective contributes or indicates how well the strategy and operations contribute to improve the organization's financial health. Secondly, we move to the customer perspective. It is about how do customers see us, which indicates how the company or the organization's strategy and operations that add value to the customers. Third, we move into the internal business and production process perspective. It defines what you must excel at that indicates the ability of the internal business for the company processes to add value to the customer and to improve the shareholder wealth. Finally, the learning and growth perspective, or known as the innovation. It indicates that the strength of the infrastructure or for innovation and long-term growth. From this, we can see the balanced scorecard framework derive its power by providing a holistic view of the business value through its perspective. Following up to these 4 dimensions, let's go deeper one by one. First perspective is the financial perspective. The balanced scorecard uses financial performance measures such as net income and return on investment because all for-profit organizations use all of them. So, financial performance measures provide a common language for analyzing and comparing the companies. People who provide funds to companies, such as financial institutions and also the shareholders, rely heavily on the financial performance measures in deciding whether to lend or invest the funds in the organization. Properly designed financial measures can provide an aggregate view of an organization's success. Financial measures by themselves do not provide incentive for success. However, it tells a story about the past, but not for the future of the company, and also will not guide the performance in creating value. So, database should include 3 types of the information. Well, the first one is historical data. It's about how did we do last month, last week, this year, last year, and also so on. Second is current data. It's about how are we doing right now, today. So the third data is future data. how we will be doing in the next few months or years. What is historical data? It's a form of financial standpoint. The purpose of doing business is actually to create wealth for its owner. Output measures or historical financial measures help an organization keep score of how well it's doing at creating wealth. These data are always focused on the past because they are based on the events that have already occurred. For example, our net profit for the year versus last year, our sales revenue this year versus last year, and our average stock price this month versus last month. These are all measures of corporate performance that are based on the history. Any financial information that goes into the report to the shareholders or other stakeholders will typically fall into the category of the historical data. Next is current data. What is actually current data? It's another measure of today's financial result. It's the amount of the cash the business has on hand or the total value of its assets as compared with the liability, for example. So this is a good measure of an organization's overall financial health, as these types of financial metrics should answer the question like how are we doing today? So last is the third type of financial data needed in a complete set of measures used to predict the company's future financial performance, which is the future data. These forecasts are used to plan for future workload and resource requirements. Another common future-oriented financial statistic is the amount invested in research and development (R&D) activities as a ratio to sales revenue or profit. Examples of the financial performance measure are net income, return on investment, and also the earning per share. Next is customer perspective. In the customer perspective of the balanced scorecard, managers identify the customer and the market segment in which the business unit will compete and the measure of the business unit performance in these targeted segments. This perspective typically includes several core or generic measures of the successful outcome from a well-formulated and implemented strategy. The core outcome measures include the market share in targeted segments, customer retention, customer satisfaction, and new customer acquisition, and last one is the customer profitability. But the customer perspective should also include the specific measures of the value propositions that the company will deliver to customers in the targeted market segment. These core customer outcomes represent those factors that are critical for customers to switch to or remain loyal to their suppliers. For example, customers should value short lead times and on-time delivery, or a constant stream of innovative products and services, or a supplier able to anticipate their emerging needs and capable of developing new products and approaches to satisfy those needs. The customer perspective enables business unit managers to evaluate the customer and market the strategy that will deliver superior future financial results. In the internal business process perspective, managers identify the critical internal process in which the organization must excel. These processes enable the business organizations to deliver the value propositions that will attract and retain the customer in targeted market segment, and also to satisfy shareholders' expectation of excellent financial return. The key to excellence in any organization or company is control of its processes to produce reliable and consistent products and services. In order to achieve consistently high performance, an organization must control its input. The two most important inputs to good performance are knowledge of customer requirement and high-quality goods and service from key suppliers. Excellent organization measure the processes and also the operational results in the following manner. First one is measure cycle time for all three processes. Second is tracking the reward time and cost for key production and service delivery process. Third is identify key measures of productivity and track for measure processes in the organization. Last one is the learning and growth perspective that focus on the capability of people. Manager will be responsible for developing employee capabilities. The key measures for evaluating managers' performance will be the employee satisfaction, employee retention, and also the last one is employee productivity. First, we look on to the employee satisfaction first, because it recognizes the importance of employee morale for improving productivity quality, customer satisfaction, and also responsiveness to the situations. Manager can measure employee satisfaction by sending surveys, interviewing employees, or observing employees at work. Second is employee retention. It is about firms committed to retain the employees, recognize that employees develop organization specific intellectual capital and provide a valuable non-financial assets to the company. Furthermore, firms incur costs when they must find and hire good talent to replace people who leave or pause. Firms measure employee retention as the inverse of the employee turnover, which is the percent of the people who leave each year. Third is employee productivity. It recognizes the importance of the output per employee. Employee create a physical output such as pages and product produced or service produced, or financial output such as revenue per employee or profits per employee. Everything has pros and cons. Same goes to the balance scorecard. Next, we look on to the advantage or benefit and also the limitation of the balance scorecard. The advantage of the balance scorecard are: number one is really long-term strategy with a short-term objective and measures. Number two, encourage continual improvement. Number three is the balance between needs of financial and non-financial objectives, which integrates the financial and non-financial goals and performance measures into a single system, a thing which traditional controlling techniques never considered or conceived. Number four is modifiable for different organizations. And number five, it facilitates communication from company strategy to lower level with your subordinates. Next is about limitation of the balance scorecard. Number one is balance scorecard based its approach to analyze around four perspectives only. In fact, there are many more perspectives more important than this, for example, like managerial development perspective, social responsibility perspective, and so on. As such, so-called balanced scorecard really turns into an imbalanced and imperfect scorecard. Number two, it is a vague concept or known as uncertain concept and approach to control an organization's success, as there are neither any set of standard goals nor any set of standard performance measure for each of the four perspectives, which form the core of the balanced scorecard. Number three, which is the last one, is it also just considers the organizational performance from four perspectives. It suggests nothing about what should be done to better performance in each of these perspectives. Its job, it seems, is just counting calories after the battle is over. That's all from me. Next, I will pass to the next presenter for how to explain more detail regarding the customer performance.
Hi and good afternoon everyone. My name is BKAM3033, metric number 261138. Now, I will continue to present about the measuring customer performance. This measuring customer performance consists of the customer profitability analysis. The definition of the customer profitability analysis is the reporting and analysis of revenues earned from customers and the cost incurred to earn those revenues. Besides, it is also an attention given to customers who make large contribution to the operating income. A profitable customer is someone who generates a revenue stream greater than the cost of their acquisition, selling, and serving. Companies calculate the company profitability analysis on a customer level or for the entire customer group. When companies are more focused on products, departments, and locations of their offices, they often tend to lose focus on the customers. As a result, the companies have to sometimes bear the cost of maintaining unprofitable customers, which is detrimental to their business. Company profitability analysis allows companies to evaluate their customers and know how beneficial it is for them to keep their customers. Based on the value, they can decide upon the cost of serving them or even to decide whether to to continue or let them go. Then, the next part will discuss about the performance evaluation for service organizations. Basically, there are a few differences that can be concluded between service companies and manufacturing companies. The first differences is the outputs of most services are intangible in nature. It means that services cannot be seen, tasted, felt, or smelled before they are bought. For example, an airline passenger has only a ticket and the promise of a safe and comfortable journey. As the buyers are interested in service quality, the service provider must add tangible dimensions. The place, price, equipment, and communication material must indicate the service quality as claimed by the service provider. Second, outputs for services are heterogeneous or variable. Service variability can be managed in several ways. Employees can be selected and trained carefully to provide good services. Employee incentives can be introduced that emphasize service quality. Customer satisfaction can be checked regularly through the suggestion and complaint system, customer service, and comparison shopping. Next, the production and consumption of many services are simultaneous or known as inseparability. Inseparability is a major characteristic of services. It means that services are generated and consumed simultaneously and cannot be separated from their providers, whether they are people or machines. As the customer remains present as the service is produced, provider-customer interaction is important in service marketing. The result of services is affected by both the provider and the customer. Last but not least, services are perishable, which means that services cannot be stored for a later sale or use. For example, a ticket for the evening show of a movie cannot be used for watching the night show. The perishability of services has important implications for service providers. In the case of steady demand, perishability is not a problem, but where demand fluctuates, service providers face adjustment problems. As in manufacturing companies, managers of service companies now require accurate, timely information to improve the quality, timeliness, and efficiency of their activities and to make decisions about their individual products, services, and customers. Therefore, BKAM 1993 proposed the results and determinants frameworks as a performance measurement for service companies. The next part is about results and determinant frameworks as a performance measurement for service organizations. These performance dimensions consist of competitiveness, financial performance, quality of service, flexibility, resource utilization, and innovation. Competitiveness is a dimension that are measured with a relative market share and position, sales growth, and customer base. The financial performance is measured by profitability, liquidity, capital structure, and market ratio. Then, the measurement for quality of service are rely on reliability, responsiveness, appearance, and etc. The next dimension, which is flexibility, will measure the performance evaluation for service organizations in terms of volume, specification, and speed of delivery flexibility. The resource utilization involves productivity, efficiency, while the dimension of innovation will measure the performance of the innovation process, including individual innovation and etc. The last part that I will explain is performance evaluation for non-profit organization. Non-profit organizations are different from profit organizations. The best performance indicators for non-profit organizations are generally not in the financial terms. Thus, it is more difficult to measure the performance of non-profit organizations compared to the profit organizations. According to Kaplan and Norton 2001, they suggest that non-profit organizations can use balanced scorecard to measure their performance. That's all for me, and I will pass to the next presenter. Thank you.
Alright, thank you. So I will continue our presentation with the next subtopic, which is incentive and compensation system. So my name is Nur Nadia Sabrina binti Hamdan, and my matric number is 261175. So let's go. In this slide, we will talk and discuss about the definition of incentive and compensation system. The first definition is incentive compensation plans, or known as pay for performance system, are reward system that provide monetary, which is mostly extrinsic reward based on the measured result. The second one is incentive compensation programs are primarily used to promote efficiency and productivity of the workforce. And then the last one is organization also use this system to enhance employee requirement, engagement, retention, and also the employee branding. So we move to the next slide. Okay, next, what is extrinsic reward? Is it different from intrinsic reward? So I will present you about the extrinsic and intrinsic reward. Basically, extrinsic rewards are any financial or tangible reward that one person provides to another to recognize a job is well done. Extrinsic reward reinforces the notion that employees have distinguished themselves from the organization. The general extrinsic reward, as we know, are tips, cash bonus, stock bonus, pay raise, bonus, and also the benefits. And then the difference with the intrinsic reward, where intrinsic reward come from an individual and reflect satisfaction from doing the job and the opportunity for growth that the job provides. The intrinsic reward include a sense of pride, personal fulfillment from a completion of an activity, gaining a new skill, and feeling like an important part of a team. So, can you see clearly the difference? If yes, let's go to the next slide. Alright, so we move to the type of incentive compensation plan. The first one is those that rely on the performance of the organization share price in the stock market. Example is stock option and other stock related. A stock option is the right to purchase a unit of an organization stock at a specific price, also known as option price, where intended to motivate the employee who has granted the stock option to act in the long-term interest of an organization. And the second one is those that rely on internal measures and variable provided by the organization management accounting system. So the examples are, the first one is cash bonus, also known as lump sum reward that pay for performance or merit pay. Pay cash on the basis of some measured performance. And then the second one is the profit sharing, where known as cash bonus, were calculated as a percentage of an organization reported profit. Profit sharing incentive compensation plan focus on short-term performance. And then the third one, which is gain sharing, where a gain sharing is a system for distributing cash bonus from a pool when the total amount available is a function of performance relative to a sum target, usually in an individual rewards. Alright, in this slide, we will see about the conditions favoring incentive compensation. So, in the early steps, this system are suitable use in the organization which employees have the skill and authority to react to a condition and make decisions. And then, this system are used as to motivate employees to identify changes in the environment and then to apply their skill and knowledge accordingly and to make decisions that best reflect the organization goals. And then when the organization have empowered its employees to make decisions, it can use incentive compensation system to motivate appropriate decision-making behavior of the employee. And then therefore, the focus of control in the organization change from telling people what to do to asking employees to use their skill and delegate authority to do their best to help the organization achieve its stated objective. Okay, next, how to measure of absolute performance in incentive compensation system. So, as we can see, there are 3 points, which is the first one is the number of acceptable quality unit produced, such as a piece rate system. And then the second one is the organization result, such as profit levels or an organization balance scorecard measure of a customer or employee satisfaction, quality, and rate of successful new product introduced. And then the last one is the organization share price performance, such as stock option plan. So that's all from me, and I will pass the presentation to the next presenter. Thank you.
Good day everyone. I'm Fatrisha Mira binti Jaafar and my metric number is 261038. Now, allow me to talk about reward systems. Reward systems serve the purpose of motivating effective performance among managers and employees to achieve organization's goals. Reward systems are indispensable in an organization because managers or employees may not provide satisfactory service. This may happen on the grounds that the managers or employees may have low ability, they may prefer not to work hard, or they may prefer to spend company resources which are a privilege given to them. Therefore, they may be in dire need of rewards to stimulate their sense of performance, since reward systems are incentives for them. Next, I will be focusing on managerial rewards. The most common managerial rewards are extrinsic rewards, since they are incentives tied to performance. The objective of managerial rewards is to encourage goal congruence, so that managers will act in the best interests of the company. Goal congruence is defined as the consistency or agreement of individual goals with company goals. Thus, when controls can motivate behavior that is organizationally desirable, they are described as encouraging goal congruence. Managerial rewards can be either monetary or non-monetary. Examples of frequently used managerial rewards are increase in salaries, bonuses based on reported income, stock options, and recognition such as through trophies or certificates. Let's move to the next part. I will explain about effective performance measurement and reward systems, or how rewards can be tied to performance effectively. There are 6 attributes of a measurement system that must be in place in order to motivate desired performance. The first one is the employees must understand their jobs and the reward system, trust the system, and believe that it measures what they control and contribute to the organization. This means that the employees should be aware of how their jobs contribute to achieve organizational goals. This attribute can ensure that the employees perceive the reward system as fair and predictable. If employees do not understand their jobs or how to improve their measured performance, a reward system based on performance measures is ineffective. Moreover, if the reward system does not measure performance that is under the manager's or employee's control, they may ignore the measured performance. This is because they may conclude that the measured performance is independent of their efforts. Hence, they may perceive no relationship between effort and performance, and ultimately outcomes, rendering the incentive effect of the reward system to be lost. Consequently, specifying and developing a clear relationship among effort, performance, and results, and ensuring that all employees understand this relationship is a critical management role. The second attribute is the designers of the performance measurement system must make a careful choice about whether it measures employees' inputs or outputs. In most cases, the ultimate alignment between employees and the organization's interests occurs when the performance measurement system monitors and rewards employee outputs that contribute to the organization's success. In spite of that, outputs often reflect circumstances and conditions that are beyond the employee's control. And when this happens, the perceived link between individuals' efforts and measured results is reduced, thereby decreasing the motivation provided by the reward system. Under circumstances when outcome measurement is problematic, organizations typically choose to monitor and reward inputs instead, such as employee learning, demonstrated skill, and time work. Hence, companies must cautiously make a choice regarding the mix of performance measures and the decision about whether those measures are input-based, output-based, or a combination of measures. The third attribute is the elements of performance that the performance measurement system monitors and rewards should reflect the organization's critical success factors. This attribute ensures that the performance system is relevant and motivates intended performance that is essential to the organization's success. Furthermore, the performance measurement system must take into account all aspects of performance to ensure that employees do not sacrifice performance on an unmeasured element for performance on an element that the reward system measures. This is the role and purpose of measuring and rewarding employees across a set of balanced and comprehensive measures as proposed in the Balanced Scorecard. In addition, the reward system must set clear standards for performance that employees accept. Standards assist employees to evaluate whether their skills and efforts create results that the performance system captures and reports as outcomes. This attribute determines employees' beliefs about whether the performance system is fair. If performance standards are either unspecified or unclear to employees, the relationship between performance and outcome is ambiguous and thereby reduces the motivational effect of the performance reward system. Besides, the measurement system must be calibrated so that it can accurately assess performance. This attribute ensures that the performance measurement system establishes a clear relationship between performance and outcome. Last but not least, when it is critical that employees coordinate decision-making and other activities with other employees, the reward system should reward group rather than individual performance. Multitudinous organizations today believe that employees must work well in teams in order to be effective. Thus, these organizations are replacing evaluations and rewards based on individual performance with rewards and evaluations based on group performance. That's all from me. Thank you for your attention. I would like to pass the next part to my groupmate, Isha, to present her views.
Thank you, Patricia. Hi, my name is Nur Isha Ilani binti Syakni and my matric number is 261070. Okay, today I'm going to discuss and explain about critical success factors and key performance indicator KPI. Okay, for the definitions, critical success factor is a key area where satisfactory performance is required for the organization to achieve its goal. It also means of identifying the tasks and requirements needed for success. Sometimes it can be hard to get everyone in your team to focus on what really matters. That's where critical success factors CSF can help. Identifying critical success factors enable you to track and measure your progress toward achieving strategic goals and ultimately to fulfilling your organization's mission. They also provide a common point of reference so that everyone knows exactly what most important, ensuring that tasks and projects are aligned across teams and departments. Okay, next I would like to discuss and explain about types of critical success factors. There are 4 types of critical success factors. Okay, the first one, industry critical success factors. Okay, industry factors result from specific characteristic of your industry. These are the things that you must do to remain competitive within your sector. For example, a tech startup might identify innovation as a CSF. Second, strategy critical success factors. Strategic factors result from the specific competitive strategy that your organization follows. This could include the way your organization chooses to position and market itself, and whether it's a high volume, low cost producer or a low volume, high cost one. And the third one, environmental critical success factors. Environmental factors result from macro environmental influences on your organization, the business climate, the economy, your competitors, and technological advancement, for example. A past analysis can help you to understand environmental factors better. And the last one, temporal critical success factors. Temporal factors result from the organization internal changes and growth and are usually short-lived. Specific barriers, challenges, directions, and influences will determine DCSF. For example, a rapidly expanding business might have a CSF of increasing its international sales. Next, I would like to explain about CSF for business organization. There are 4 CSF for business organization. Firstly, the service, which is the product's tangible and intangible features promised to the customer. Secondly is the cost, which means the resources used to provide the product or service. And then quality, the difference between promise and the realized level of service. And the fourth one is the customer. As you can see in this slide, there is a statistical research into CFF on organization. Okay, they have shown that there to be 7 key areas. Okay, for the first one is training and education. Secondly, quality data and reporting. Third, management commitment, customer satisfaction. Fourth, staff orientation. Fifth, role of the quality department. Sixth, communication to improve quality, and the last one, continuous improvement. Okay, for the next slide, I would like to explain about key performance indicator, KPI. Okay, KPI is a performance measure used to assess an organization's performance on its critical success factors. Measurement can be non-financial and subjective by nature. Okay, key performance indicators or KPIs are often confused with critical success factors CSF, as these two concepts are tightly connected. Used interchangeably, these terms may cause confusion, as in reality they express different things. The main difference between a KPI and a CSF is that performance indicator reflects the level of success, while CSF point out the cause of success. Key performance indicators are performance management instruments used to measure and monitor the achievement of objectives, so as to determine the level of success of your actions. Critical for success factors are actions that are important in order to achieve an objective. When managers determine objectives, they also consider the necessary actions to support the fulfillment of the goal set. The KPI is what makes an objective quantifiable, and the only way to reach your target is by identifying the factors that influence your objective. For example, let's assume that a person's objective is to lose 10 kilograms. In this case, the KPI is to monitor. The KPI could be how much weight lost per month, while the CSF is to consider maybe daily exercises and to adopt a special diet. An objective can have more KPIs and more CFS, not just one. Okay, as you can see in this slide, okay, here is the example of CFF and KPI for business organization. Okay, as you can see in the table, okay, the CFF that we have, that I have explained before, okay, have service, quality, cost, and customer. Okay, let's look at the example of KPI for each CSF. Okay, for the first one, service. So the KPI will be time to respond to customer orders, time taken to resolve customer complaints. Okay. For CSF of quality, the KPI could be number of complaints, customer satisfaction surveys, percent on time delivery, returns and warranty claims. Okay. And the third one, the cost. The example of KPI could be ratio of cost to revenue, cost of particular activity, and customer probability, and also sales per hour. Okay, and the last one for the customer, the KPI could be number of customers, number of new customers, number of lost customers, and also market share. Okay, I think that's all from us. Thank you for lending me your ears.